It is time for the final season of FC25. RIP in pieces. You will probably not be missed, and if you are missed, we are in deep shit for next year. But we'll go over the new season. If you want to go and skip to that part of the video, you sure can, but we have lots to talk about today, actually. Some icon stats confirmed for next year, the new icons, that is. Some pitch notes came out with some FCIQ bullshit that we'll talk about. A little bit some icon picks at the end of the video. There was also a change in weekend league rewards, actually, over the last maintenance time last night when there was maintenance going on. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. The link is in the description. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. They did change the 95 plus Paths of Glory, Make Your Mark packs. Remember those ones? Those are now gone, and it is futties packs now, 95 by 3, any futties player pack. So I think that's, I guess, a good change. It's definitely better, but I would say it's not insane. I think that it's nice to see them still adding changes, even in getting towards late August now. We are still seeing some changes to weekend league rewards, so I think that that's still, you know, that's a W for us, but it's not to the point where like, oh my god, it's actually worth playing champs right now. If you don't want to play champs and you just want to menu grind, that's still going to be better than playing champs. And I will say it's kind of crazy that, you know, we just got this Raul SBC today, and they didn't really go all out, or they haven't yet in terms of playstyles. I feel like, you know, we're not even seeing cards with all the shooting, all the passing, all the dribbling playstyles. Like, they're just not doing that, which is kind of weird to me. Even when you go and look at these crazy high stat cards like Eusebio, right? The playstyle is actually no passing at all in there. They leave out press proven and like certain ones they could have in there. Like, I feel like they actually could go crazier with a lot of these cards in this end game, which sounds strange. And I wonder why they're not doing that. Maybe we will start to see that now coming up here, but we have a new SBC leaks that should be an icon that's already been released as well that doesn't have these like juiced out playstyles yet, so I'm not sure. What do you think about that? And a drastic difference going from this year's game to next year's game, seeing all these insanely juiced cards and then not seeing that at the start of next year's game. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and shameless plug, but my second channel and this channel will have tons of content every single day on it, so if you want terrible, awful, horrible content, you can subscribe to either channel. We'll start off with FC24 leaks because yes, we still do have these, and the first one today, we have a couple of them. The first one is this big SBC leak that at least we think is an SBC leak. It is a emoji-ridden enigma of a puzzle that we have to solve that isn't actually that hard to solve, but it only exists because FIFA Trading Romania has to make some of that sweet subscription money. Patreon.com. Put your credit card details in, auto-renew, hundreds of dollars a year. No, I'm not kidding. That's obviously, you know, why we have to solve or decode this puzzle. It's not much of a puzzle, but it's either engagement bait, which I guess congratulations, it worked, or you obviously are leaking stuff in Discords early in August, in late August. Okay, listen, you gotta respect the bag, Chase. You just gotta respect it. But number 14, Dutch King soon. We are going to assume that it is the one and only Johan Cruyff. Now, there is rumor that it could be a season reward thing. You'll know that if you're watching this right now, or it'll probably be an SBC coming up here, because we were supposed to get Greats at the Game SBCs. That was supposed to exist. That was supposed to happen. We got one of them, and it was Maldini. It's got to be Cruyff coming as the next one that you would assume there. And the leak for the new season, which is not really a point even showing you this, because you've seen it already if you're watching this video. So it says that it's best of. There's a chance then Cruyff is like in it. I don't know what exactly is going on here. How we have the new season leaked though is kind of strange. Like the name of it leaked already. But okay, on to FC25 leaks. We now have the official card stats and playstyle plus for Gareth Bale, and this is what it looks like. And I guess there was a lot of debate about, is 88 rated, is that right? The 95 pace, the 88 dribbling, you know, 89 shot. What time period for Bale is this? Tough to say at this point because of the fact that obviously they kind of just pick one year for the icon and it's not 3 different versions like we used to have. So obviously the card looks very good. It'll be very expensive next year, no doubt about it. The only question I guess is just, what do you think about it? Is that about what Gareth Bale deserves? I'm happy to see him coming into the game next year, though. I'm curious to know what base play styles he'll also have. That'll like really make or break this card, in my opinion. I'm sure he'll have power shot, dead ball. He's gonna have, right? There's a few obvious ones, but I do wonder what base play styles he will have. And we also have Gianluigi Buffon's card leaked as well. So this is what his stats look like in game. 91 rated. It's a pretty crazy good goalkeeper card. A lot of his stats actually come from diving, reflex reflexes and positioning as well. Kicking is only 78, so for him being 91, a lot of his stats come from the important stats, so that's nice to see as well. He'll be very good, I'm assuming. Obviously pretty tall as well. But of course, you'll be packing him a lot next year come, you know, the middle of the year when you don't want goalkeepers anymore. He'll pop up a lot, but for the start of the year, he'll be one of the best goalkeepers in the game is my guess. And they also now have playstyle pluses. We don't know what the playstyle plus is on Buffon yet, so we'll figure that out some point coming up here. But okay, in case you guys wanted some material to fall asleep to, we got the FC25 FCIQ deep dive today, and we've seen most of this stuff. There's some stuff, like some screenshots that are now new that we haven't seen before. If you want to read through this, you can. I'm not going to spend much time on this at all because honestly, there's not much to really say about it. A couple things I'm worried about. First of all, Thomas Kalefi is still the producer of the gameplay, which that worries me immediately. Listen, I really hope they prove me wrong that this gameplay is going to be much better than this year. I sincerely hope they do. I don't want this game to fail all the time. I don't, but I have no faith in this gameplay team after what we just went through in 23. Then to 24, they went back on every single good bit of progress they made. They just said, actually, fuck it. So anyway, we got new screenshots here. If you want to pause the video and look through, you can. This, you know, concept Inform Foden has an inside forward plus. We did learn from this today that the player, if they're out of position, playing in a role they're not used to, their AI is going to be worse. So you basically are not going to be able to use a player out of position very much. Like, you're just not going to be able to. And also, I unfortunately did see a screenshot of somebody in a 4-3-2-1, because it's now, instead of the 4-3-2-1, it's just the two center forwards have turned into two cams. So it's not called the 4-3-2-1, I don't think anymore, but it's literally the exact same thing. And they also changed the center forwards to cams, right? It's basically identical. I saw somebody run the identical instructions basically to what the 4-3-2-1, the overpowered 4-3-2-1 that everybody ran, all the pros ran, the same instructions that everybody ran in the next game. You basically can copy and paste it for the most part. So if people thought that like the 4-3-2-1 was going to go away, if we have a similar gameplay to next year, it's going to be in the game immediately day one. It'll be the first instructions and tactics that everybody has on. So I hate to say that, but now things do change with and without ball. You can also change that up, which I think is very, very nice. And if implemented well, that can be a very big game changer as well, I will say. All of this stuff is with the caveat of like, yeah, it could all be broken and insane, or it could be done well. We just don't know yet, so we can only really speculate. Here are all the player roles, which we have seen already before, but if you've not seen them yet, you can read through all of them if you want to. It's similar instructions to what we saw in the previous games, but it does kind of maybe leave it towards instructions are going to be very tied to your team now, which is, I guess, it makes sense in theory that like Haaland won't be a very good false nine build-up striker. Like he's not going to be, but you could at least play him there before. It looks like now, like if you want to try and do that, you probably are going to have a much harder time doing that. So instructions and your team are kind of tied together now a little bit more, which I guess is probably not a good thing for the power curve, but it is a good thing in terms of realism, I guess. But are we really, do we want the biggest realism? I think you need a base of realism, but I think you can obviously kind of go a little bit off course in an Ultimate Team game mode. So I guess, what do you think about that? But yeah, their philosophy is that their goal is to emphasize squad building rather than just player position. So it is, yeah, players to think like managers, except what this probably is going to be now is just the power curve is going to be even harder to fit into, because the most overpowered instructions and tactics are probably going to be a very specific set, which only certain players can run to the greatest ability. So now you got teams more tied into tactics than ever before. So that, I think, was really their philosophy mainly. Instead of thinking like managers, it's more so, hey, I have an idea. Let's tie teams now even to instructions. Maybe that won't be the case. Maybe I'm being cynical, but that's what it seems like to me on the outside. Another, I guess, interesting note, even roles that might seem similar like center mid playmaker and cam playmaker have differences such as their focus or where they will play. So there's differences even in like minute, small differences. There's differences in there, if that made any sense. And they go through what pretty much every single role does for every position. So if you want to go through and read all that, you can. We have the 4 defensive approaches: deep, balanced, high, and aggressive. And you already know aggressive will end up being insane. If they don't fix the auto press next year, I I'm going to light my entire setup on fire. And also we got this code now where you can type in like somebody's code of their tactics and it will just straight up copy paste the tactics on there, which is very, very cool. I'm happy they added this because like if you're going to add a bunch of new tactics in, it takes a lot of time to set up. Just copy paste a code from somebody that hopefully me, because obviously I'll try to find the best tactics and roles for you guys, of course. It's probably going to be the fucking same shit as last year, but we'll look do our best to look. You can just copy and paste the code in. I do like that a lot. There's bigger benches, still 5 subs, but 3 windows now to do, which is very realistic as well. You can see if you change something tactically in game, this pops up now. So you got kind of like different broadcasts and like UI elements there. So yeah, this kind of pops up now, which is, I guess, is kind of cool. It'll help you see what your players are actually doing. Maybe, you know, I think that's what it is in theory. Hopefully in practice, that actually is the case. And I believe that's kind of it. Quick run through. Didn't really talk too much about it. We've seen some of this stuff, but it's not super interesting. Just hopefully it's good instructions. All we want, good attacking AI. Honestly, this is all just basically a huge marketing ploy to get new people on the game. None of it really means anything if we just get good or better attacking AI. That's all anybody wants. Okay, let's read your comments, open our picks, and we'll look at the new season. We got John Kenny who says, JFC, why don't you discuss Evos and the best players to use? Well, honestly, you can get that in so many different places that I'm like, does anybody really care or want to see that? You know, there's tons of different YouTubers that show what the best players are right after they came out, basically. So I could do that and maybe research into it a little bit more, because I always make my video hours after the evolution came out, right? So I would have time to like look into it and figure out, hey, this actually is the best one. But I don't even know if you guys want to see that. Maybe another couple minutes on, maybe, or a minute or 2 on every day when there's a new Evo out. If no one really cares, then like I'm not gonna do it. But if I get a lot of comments saying do it, then sure. 123 Kevin Johns says, I've always liked the CR7 big body shit house through your defense type playstyle, so I'm glad they brought in Aerial Plus. Otherwise, older FIFAs are all about left stick dribbling. It's a nice alternative, and I actually do agree with this. I think Aerial and Aerial Plus actually has a place in FIFA. I mean, just like it is in real life. Obviously, 6'5" guys who are insane in the air are very useful in real life football, so they can in FIFA as well. Like, why not? I just think there needs to be some kind of balance. I don't know what that really looks like, though. That's the problem with this Aerial Plus meta, is EA is thinking like, okay, you want them to win headers more often. If you got a 6'4" player on your team and he's losing headers all the time, you're not going to like that. But if he wins every header, the other team's like, okay, this is just cheese. You can't like combat that or do anything about that, really. So what is the in-between? I don't know the right answer for sure, but I just think that it's definitely more in the medium of what we had this year, right? I think that's probably better. Maybe make the jumping stat really important on Aerial Plus, where like an Aerial Plus player won't immediately win every header. You're gonna have to have like max stats too. So later in the year, it becomes where like, okay, Aerial Plus players kind of dominate, which would be better, I guess. Because think about this year when we have lower jumping stats and there's going to be some Aerial Plus players immediately, now that we know Aerial Plus is really good, next year that are lower rated, that are going to be really expensive right away because they're gonna be winning headers like crazy. They'll be 6'4", Aerial Plus, playstyle pluses don't exist very often. Most center backs are not gonna have Aerial Plus, right? It's gonna be an aerial fest if they don't nerf it a little bit, at least at the start of next year's game. So I wonder what's gonna happen with that, but at the same time, I do think there is a place for it, though. Monty Matata, someone needs to do a study on how many kids played this game over the years and went on to be adults with serious gambling addictions. That study, I wouldn't even want to see. I honestly think we're not prepared to see that study. And I asked yesterday what out of 10 you would rate FC24. I'd say on average, it was probably a 4, I would say, right about. I mean, the first 2 comments, -10, and then FC24 shot my dog and sold me fentanyl. So if that's any sign of what was to come in the comments, then I think that you know the answer already. Okay, let's open our icon picks and get nothing, and then hope for the next day we get something, and then we get nothing, and hope the next day we get something, and we get nothing again. Open the first pick here, and we get Shevchenko. Okay, well, saw somebody open 30 of these and didn't get like one of the big ones, so I'm assuming in 3, we're probably not going to get much either, but you never know. And we're going to get Hero and Van Nistelrooy, and I'm going to open this third one. I'm going to skip it because it's good luck. Socrates is 240k. I have his Evo. I have the better version. Okay, well, it's time to check out the new season. Let's see if there's anything interesting in here, even remotely interesting. Let's see. We auto-claimed our 50 XP. Thank you for the boost for next season. Okay, first 5 levels. Okay, let's hide the face cam. Packs to start with, okay, and just some bullshit packs, kind of. I mean, they're not great. Okay, what? Okay, I guess this is not a season that anybody's gonna be really caring about? Okay. Reach level 30 of season 9 preseason to earn an 84 by 5 players pack next year. So you have to reach level 30 to just basically get one 84 by 5. Okay. I mean, it's just packs, I guess, but could they be better? I mean, yeah, they kind of, oh, it's Dino. Well, I guess you do get Dino at least at some point for free, which is kind of cool, but not gonna be an SBC, which is kind of maybe even a little bit disappointing, low-key, I feel like, but okay. I mean, I wonder if you can just earn XP at like any rate right now. Is that possible? Like, is there a ton of XP for objectives right now by chance? No, doesn't look like it. Yeah, I mean, out with a whimper, I guess, unless you guys think this is like cooler, maybe I'm giving it credit for, but it's just packs and they're not even like that amazing. They're not, it's not like, oh, an 84-20 for every level. I know that'd be like insane, but we're at the point in the year where does anybody give a fuck who has insane teams anymore? Like, are you still being stingy with it? Yes, you are, because you're not giving us insane packs throughout all the levels. So I guess we're still getting VIP areas in late August, and Dino might be worse as an objective reward for level 30 than an SBC. I might be totally tripping about that. I might totally be, but let me know what you guys think, and I guess that's all I have to say. I don't know, like, I don't think I'm missing anything. I think that's it. So I guess that's all. See you guys next video over soon. Peace.